Hey everyone! Well, you can probably guess what this video is about. I have a lot of journals that I'm going to be adding to the Etsy shop, but this will be quick because they're pretty much the same. There's two sizes, the small ones, and these are 3.5 by 4 3/4, and they have 28 pages. That's the front and the back. They have 4 pockets, and each have a little mini binder clip. There is one that's slightly different. It has a rusty clip. I really prefer the rusty ones because when you rust them, they become looser. They lose their integrity a little bit. And that is the reason I only put it on one, because I don't know that they'll hold up for, years. But I like how they hold better. They're not as tight, so they don't pinch down your journal the way that these do. I feel like, now I put alcohol ink on these, so they have kind of a bronzy effect. It's supposed to be a rust effect, but it doesn't really look like that. So on the little ones, like I said, this one's a little bit different. It has the rusty bulldog clip, and it has been sewn around. I only sewed around this one because I felt like I lost too much space on my pockets when I sewed around it. Meaning, this one, because it's sewn, it won't open as much as the ones that aren't sewn. So I'm going to do this in 2 batches. I'm going to show you these. All the papers are the same in these small ones. So I'll show you one, and then just know that the ephemera in them is slightly different. On the big ones, these 3, again, they have the same papers. They all have a rusty clip on these, though. And they have a little bit different ephemera. Some of the ephemera is the same, and whatever is different, I will show you. These are 5 by 7 1/4. They have 44 pages front and back, and 10 pieces of ephemera, 4 pockets on these. These have 4 pockets as well, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that, and anywhere from 7 to 10, maybe more pieces of ephemera. And then lastly is this journal that I made out of a masterboard, and I showed when I was making it, but I wasn't going to sell it at the time. I was going to keep it. But I have messed up so many that I have a plethora of journals now. So I'm going to sell this one. And this one will be a quick walkthrough as well, because it doesn't, it's I guess, a naked journal. It doesn't have any ephemera. It doesn't have pockets. It just has the most beautiful paper ever. So let's start with the little ones. Okay, so this one has a rusty safety pin on the front. It can be removed. It's not glued down. And you can also hang something from it if you like. All of these have a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and the binding is on the outside, which is different than I normally do. And they all have been lined with some kind of fabric on the spine to reinforce it. This one has kind of a, oh, I don't know what color that is. Green. Foam green. So the outside of this one is some of my painted packaging, and the back is also painted packaging that's been embossed, and it does have the rusty bulldog clip. So in the beginning, in the front of the journal and the back of the journal are pockets, and then there are pockets on each end, so a total of 4 pockets. The front pocket has, this one has a little index card that's been blue tea dyed, and I've stapled on a little tab with some threads. they all will have a little stamped piece that says journal, except for one, because it's actually stamped on the outside of the book already. So I inserted this not knowing if it was something that you would want to glue to the front of your journal or not. So there is that. There's a piece of vellum and lots of tickets. These are called sound cards, but you can write on them. And all of these have pretty much the same ephemera. It varies slightly. In the back, we have more tickets and a little faux piece of vintage ephemera. And in the very back pocket, and this is what I meant when I said because I sewed it, it doesn't have a lot of room. So in the back is another blue tea-dyed index card with a tab. And again, this one's been sewn around. Now, all of the papers are the same in all of these. So we have, except they all have wallpaper, but some of them are this tea-dyed antique linen looking wallpaper, and it actually has a linen feel to it. And this is tea-dyed paper, even though this one isn't really dark. It's tea-dyed, rust-dyed paper, blue tea-dyed paper that has stenciling on it, a piece of scrapbook paper. This will be different in some. Packing paper, a blue, I thought that's on there. Thought it was a piece of blue tea. Blue tea dyed index card that's been bubble painted. So those are the pages that will be in here in every one of them. They're just going to be a little bit different. And that is the mini journal. So this one, we'll just run through it real quick. The differences are the front cover, of course, is a mixed media junk mail piece that I done. The back is scrapbook paper. The alcohol inked bulldog clip. The front piece of ephemera is alcohol inked photo paper with a little tab at the top that's been stapled. And the back of those sometimes will have alcohol ink and paint on them because they were just meant to be a mixed media piece, but they make great writing spots. And see how much more room you have in the ones that aren't sewn around. So that's why I didn't continue the sewing. So again, we have a pocket, we have our ephemera. This is the other kind of wallpaper, and it's beautiful. This doesn't do it justice. It's a bronze. It's a very linen-like feel. I don't know. It's very smooth. The inside has some boxing. It's at least a vintage wallpaper. Blue tea dye, packing paper. Here's some of the blue tea dye paper. Handmade paper. Okay, so I said they were all the same. Slightly different. I guess I was wrong. Handmade paper, and the middle is blue tea dyed. The back, here is your ephemera, and here is your tab piece in the back. Next one is same mixed media packaging. Here's the back, the front piece, and honestly is a tea-dyed Project Life card that I put a little bit of tab and things on. Honestly, I guess I don't need to show you the ephemera because in the Etsy shop, I have put a picture of all the ephemera that's with each one. This pocket is made from, I think this is rag paper, music rag paper with bubble paint. There's the wallpaper, blue tea dyed. This one's tea dyed, but very light. It just looks like lined paper. Tea dyed paper, handmade paper, packing, and this is the crinkled distress ink. Here's the back pocket. This is made from some of my faux handmade paper, some tickets, and the back piece is, again, the alcohol ink photo paper. This is the faux rice paper that's been glued on the front. And this one has, I didn't show the spines on all these, but again, they do all have some sort of, I think one of them actually has really sturdy scrapbook paper, and all of the rest has, nope, this one has wallpaper. The rest of them all have some kind of, this one and this one have wallpaper that has scrapbook paper, and the rest really do have some kind of fabric in the spine. So here is this one, another faux pocket out of that faux handmade paper. Another Project Life card that's been tea-dyed. Wallpaper, blue tea-dyed paper, tea-dyed, lined paper, handmade, and blue tea-dyed index, and crinkled distressed paper. Lots of tickets, another pocket out of the faux paper, and here is the back card on this one. The pictures of the ephemera in the Etsy shop. Photo paper. And the front, the pocket on this one is bubble paint. I'm trying to make sure these all have the little journal. Yeah, okay. I'll just do a quick flip through of the papers. Another bubble paint and the back ephemera on this one. We're almost done with the little ones. This is the faux rice paper, and I've glued it on some graphic 45, and I stamped this one journal. Wallpapers in the spine, graphic 45 on the back. So there is not a little journal piece in this one. And here is the card. It's a Project Life card that I have put a little tab on that I stamped. Here's the front pocket, is more of the bubble paper. I think this is rag paper. And this one has the kind of linen tea-dyed wallpaper, rust paper, blue tea-dyed paper, scrapbook, and bubble paint. And the back has some of the crinkled distress inked paper, and this is the piece that is in the back of it. All right. Okay, so we have another one of these. Has fabric in the spine. The front card looks like this. The front pocket is scrapbook paper. Here's the wallpaper in this one. The tea-dyed line, but boy, it just didn't tea-dye very well. Let's see, this is handmade paper, packing paper, blue tea-dye, and distress ink crinkle, and more blue tea-dye with the stencil. And the back pocket is some of the wallpaper, the linen wallpaper. And here is the card. It's a graphic 45, I thought that might say. But it says, Country Roads Take Me Home. So I left that on there. That's actually the piece that is at the bottom of a 12 by 12 that normally you cut off, but I thought it was pretty, so I left it on. And here is the last mini journal. Again, it's mixed media packaging, and wallpaper in the spine. And all of them have hemp thread. This one has this piece. Again, it's the alcohol inked photo paper, little fabric tab. Front is a vellum pocket. Has the pretty bronze wallpaper, crinkle distress inked, tea dye, packing, blue tea, tea dyed lined, and more of the crinkled distress inked. The back pocket is, I think that's packing paper that's been stamped. And in the back pocket of this one, I think there's a couple pieces. A Project Life card that has the faux rice paper tab and just a vintage looking piece of ephemera. And that is the mini journals. That is all of those. There are 8 total. Now we'll do this one in the middle here. Bigger than I thought. This book is 9.5 by 6.25, and it has 88 pages front and back. It has washi tape in the spine, a ribbon. This is actually an antique apron, or vintage, I can't remember. That is the binding on this one. The outside is the master board that has music paper. It's been all kinds of colored mixed media. The inside lining is more of that beautiful apron. It is so soft. These papers are beautiful. You have tea-dyed vellum, blue tea-dyed paper, tea-dyed paper that I've stenciled. This is tissue paper that's been watercolored. This is a piece. This is actually not a real receipt. It's scrapbook paper and mixed media on packing paper. Beautiful tea-dyed paper that has a little bit of aged tape on it. This is kind of a mixed media piece on regular copy paper. This is distress ink on wax paper, a watercolored book page, jelly printing, and some, I believe this is rust. And then an antique school book page. That yellowing is natural. I didn't dye this or anything. This is a rust dyed paper. And this paper is tea dyed, and it has some distress inks on it, and it's been crinkled. Another one of the fake faux receipts. Blue tea dyed that has stenciling. Hard to see on camera, but it's really pretty. It's the inside of it. Really grungy too. This is tea dyed that I did some distress ink stenciling. Piano paper that's been watercolored. Tea dyed paper. This is mamagami paper. Tea dyed paper and bubble paint paper. And I think this is water, or like watercolor paper. And so that is the beauty of this book. It is so pretty. I love these papers. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous papers. And it just kind of has a mix of all the things. And that is the end of that one. The 3 bigger paper bag journals, and I don't think I mentioned, all of those mini journals are made from paper bags. And so are these. And these really do all have fabric spines. Reinforced fabric spines. This was made from painted packaging, and it looks like one of the, oh, what do you call those pens? Calligraphy pen, and like paint splatters all over. And I've just stamped journal on a tea-dyed piece of paper. There are pockets in the front and the back, and then 2 pockets as well that I have created. So really, all of the papers in these are the same. No lie on this one. So the front on all of them, you're going to have a faux postcard. And there will be a playing card that's been altered, some of my homemade tickets, and a tag. in the front pocket. They may look different, but it will be basically that same combination. This is tea-dyed lined paper that has a stencil on it. This is RIT dye paper, distress crinkled paper, packing paper, blue tea dye, dot paper, tea-dyed paper. This is what I call that elementary school paper. More of my bubble painted paper, tea-dyed paper, tea-dyed scrapbook paper, blue tea-dyed paper. And in the middle of all of them is the elementary paper that has been eco-dyed with different kinds of flowers. And again, all of the papers in these are the same. And in the back, there'll be a little tag, a altered playing card. And this one I used coffee filters, book page, and did some distress inking on the back. There are some vintage tickets, real vintage tickets that I didn't create. A library card will all be in this back pocket. And then in this pocket, there'll be an index card that's been altered in some form of mixed media. This one is bubble painted with a little faux rice paper tag. And this is packaging with magazine paper that's been embossed in that one. And that is the end of the first big journal. And again, the rusty bulldog clip. And all of the seam binding on these I used was also hemp. This one is mixed media packaging that I just did all kinds of painting and stamping, different things. The back, I believe this is graphic 45, so there are some sparkles back here. There is glitter alert. The front pocket again, you have a faux postcard. The three things now this is the only piece in all of these that I didn't make. And I'm not sure who did make this. But it was gifted to me a long time ago. So long that I don't remember where it came from. And some homemade tickets. The pockets on this one is packaging that I have painted and embossed. The pieces in the back, there's the altered playing card. And this has color burst on this index card. And there's the packing. That is a magazine on some kind of packing paper, I believe. And I've just kind of stamped it so it has lines for writing. And I'll run you through the papers in this one. The tea-dyed stencil, RIT dye, the crinkled distress, packing paper. This is the blue tea-dyed dot paper, tea-dyed elementary, bubble paper, tea-dyed paper, tea-dyed scrapbook, blue tea, and the middle is the Eco Dye elementary paper. And the rusty clip. Some of these rusty clips have a little bit of patina looking on them. Very pretty. Here is the last big one. And it again is painted mixed media. I may have done this one on a gel plate. I'm not really sure. And the back of it is scrapbook paper. Starts with the faux postcard. My handmade ticket. Here is the tag in this one that I did make. Here's a used coffee filters collage to that one. Tea-dyed paper. Had some stenciling on this one. The RIT dye. And there's the distress paper. Or, with the distress ink and it's been crinkled. Packing paper. Blue tea dye dot. elementary tea dyed. Bubble paper. This is tea dyed that has a stencil, had a stencil on it. Tea dyed scrapbook, blue tea, and the eco dyed elementary. Isn't it pretty? But I wanted to show you the back sides of these tea dyed because the stenciling looks a little different on them. Yeah, see, you can see the bubbles. And this one is an altered playing card. And in the back pocket, this is the altered index card. And also, this is cereal bag that I put alcohol ink on. And then I sewed it to a book page and backed it. Has a little bit of age tape for writing. And that is the 3 large paper bag journals. So binder clip on that one. This one has a little bit of patina. See it? So I will have these books in my Etsy shop hopefully this evening. Hopefully, by the time the video goes up, or approximately the same time. And I have a couple of Christmas things too, but I'm not so sure it's, maybe not too late for me to put the Christmas stuff in because, shipping and all that, I don't know. I will maybe do a video on those tomorrow. And you let me know. Do you think it's too late? Should I have already done this? Evidently, I'm always day late, dollar short, and that what my dad used to say. So I hope you like these. Got some inspiration from them. Lots of fun to make these. Check out my Etsy shop if you're interested. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you like these, and I will see you next time. Bye.